We got to get into this game, man. Y'all know Caitlin Clark played small forward for the entire first half of the game, all the way until about 4 minutes left in the third quarter when the Indiana Fever were down by 9. The girl was playing small forward. Aaliyah Boston brought the ball up the whole first 3.5 quarters. This is ridiculous. This is malpractice. Stephanie White should be fired immediately.
This is the most catastrophic, heartbreaking, and utterly infuriating moment in the history of professional women's basketball. What you are about to hear is not a rumor, nor is it a conspiracy theory. It is a terrifying reality that has allegedly been leaked to the public, and it could fundamentally change the landscape of the WNBA forever. The Indiana Fever franchise is officially burning to the ground, and the destruction appears to be coming from within. We are witnessing the complete collapse of a championship-caliber team, and it is all being blamed on the massive, uncontrollable ego of one individual. If you thought the jealousy surrounding Caitlin Clark was bad before, you have no idea what has supposedly been happening behind closed doors. You may be sick to your stomach when you hear the alleged truth behind the Indiana Fever's back-to-back, absolutely disastrous losses and why Caitlin Clark and Sophie Cunningham are reportedly preparing to pack their bags and leave Indiana forever. Let us rewind for a moment and look at the unbelievable chaos that unfolded on the basketball court this week. Throughout the incredible 2026 season, the Indiana Fever were expected to become an unstoppable force. They had a powerful offensive engine, led by generational point guard Caitlin Clark, who was dropping incredible passes from deep range and controlling the entire tempo of the game. They had Sophie Cunningham stretching the floor, knocking down lethal transition three-pointers, and bringing an intense, fearless mentality into the locker room. The chemistry appeared flawless, the fans were completely obsessed, and arenas were packed night after night. Major corporate sponsors, including Nike and Gatorade, were pouring millions of dollars into the franchise. The team was winning, dominating, and becoming one of the most talked-about forces in the WNBA. But then, seemingly out of nowhere, just as the playoff push became more important than ever, and utterly began to fall apart.
Bro, Stephanie White played Aaliyah Boston at point guard for 3.5 quarters. I'm ready to lose my mind, bro. We got the best point guard in the league. Why is our center playing point guard? Meanwhile, Jonquel Jones was punishing her ass the whole first half. This is crazy, man. This is crazy, bro. Like, Kelsey Mitchell kept her streak going. That's all that matters around here, right? Kelsey Mitchell gets her streak. Yeah, that's all that matters. Indiana Fever lose again. Coaching blunder. This was ridiculous, man. Caitlin Clark, I can't make an excuse for you missing the 2 free throws down the stretch. We were down 3 or whatever we was down. I think we was down 4. We was down 4. You missed 2 free throws. I can't excuse. I don't know what's going on with you at the free throw line. I don't know. What I can say is, once we started to play Caitlin Clark's style in the third quarter, when we play, bro, the second we didn't run pick and roll with Caitlin Clark and Aaliyah Boston all first half. We finally ran it toward the end of the third quarter. You know what happened? Caitlin Clark found Sophie Cunningham.
The Indiana Fever stepped onto the court looking as if they had never played a single game of professional basketball in their lives. The offense was completely stagnant. The spacing was a total disaster. The defense appeared confused, and the energy was nowhere to be found. The team then suffered back-to-back humiliating losses that seemed to show the entire world they were not ready for playoff basketball. Fans in the arena were holding their heads in disbelief, while millions watching from home were left completely confused. Everyone was asking the same question: how could a team with so much elite, generational talent suddenly appear to forget how to play basketball overnight? Then, a massive alleged bombshell leak reportedly hit the internet, and the supposed truth was enough to make fans furious. According to the narrative, these losses were not accidents, nor were they simply bad nights. They were allegedly the result of deliberate, calculated, and deeply toxic sabotage by head coach Stephanie White. The claims, attributed to supposed inside sources and leaked locker room information, suggested that Coach White was furious behind the scenes. It was alleged that she had become increasingly frustrated because the media, fans, and sponsors were giving most of the attention and credit to Caitlin Clark's incredible playmaking and Sophie Cunningham's elite shooting. According to these unverified claims, Stephanie White allegedly struggled with the idea that people were focused less on her defensive strategies and coaching system. The story suggests that she wanted to prove to the world that she was the true mastermind behind the team and, above all, demonstrate that she remained completely in control of the franchise.
To do that. So we're going to do it, but I'm not the only one that's frustrated. I have a list of tweets here, and I don't even want to talk about this damn game. I have a list of tweets to read, and we're going to read these tweets one by one. Shout out to Jason. Jason said this rotation pattern is coaching malpractice. Caitlin Clark hits 2 straight buckets, finally gets into rhythm, and you immediately sub her out because apparently the rotation clock is more important than reading the damn game. Every single game, same predetermined substitution.
So, what did Stephanie White allegedly do? According to the dramatic narrative, she made what was described as one of the most baffling, toxic, and basketball illiterate coaching decisions in the history of the sport. In what critics characterized as a shocking act of sabotage, Stephanie White reportedly took the basketball out of the hands of one of the league's premier point guards. The claim is that she moved Caitlin Clark to the small forward position. Yes, you heard that correctly. The player known for controlling the pace, directing the offense, and dictating the overall flow of the game was allegedly pushed away from her natural role and placed into situations resembling a spot-up shooter. According to this narrative, Coach White deliberately reduced Caitlin Clark's influence on the offense, turning one of the league's most powerful offensive and economic stars into what critics described as the third scoring option on the floor.
That close. They clinched last night with a loss from another team, and they said, we could take our foot off the gas. They saw themselves climbing in the standings, and over these last 2 games, they said, we could take our foot off the gas. Stephanie White said, okay, we got our playoff berth wrapped up. We're good here. I'm not sure what it is. A lot of questions still surrounding this team. What's their mental toughness like? It seems like we luck into these wins in these close games. It doesn't seem like we really out-muscle or out-grit a team. You just kind of, it either falls into our lap or Caitlin Clark hits a game-winning 3 against the Washington Wizards. It doesn't really seem like we outplay teams. It seems like our opponents fall apart. And today, the New York Liberty, they almost fell apart themselves. But they held on late. 109-102. Caitlin Clark moves into 4th in franchise history in 3-pointers made. 243, passing Brianne January. I know Brianne January is sick. And Kelsey Mitchell, 22 short games for Kelsey Mitchell with 20-plus points, extending her WNBA record. Now let's take a look at the box score. We allow 30 points in multiple quarters. We're not going to win like that. Now I was told...
The tactical absurdity of this decision cannot be overstated. It was like taking the greatest quarterback in football history and forcing them to play wide receiver simply to prove a point. According to this narrative, the results on the court were nothing short of an absolute disaster. The offensive spacing completely collapsed, the transition game disappeared almost instantly, and with Caitlin no longer running the point guard position, Sophie Cunningham was allegedly frozen out of the offense. Without Caitlin's elite passing and court vision, Sophie reportedly struggled to receive her signature open looks from beyond the arc. The team's 2 biggest stars were effectively neutralized by their own coaching decisions. The Indiana Fever offense began to look disorganized, and the team reportedly damaged its playoff positioning. Critics of the alleged strategy claimed that coach Stephanie White had thrown away crucial basketball games simply to satisfy her own ego. According to the dramatic narrative, she wanted to humble her superstars, but instead made what was described as a fatal, career-ending miscalculation. She allegedly believed that Caitlin Clark and Sophie Cunningham would simply lower their heads, follow orders, and accept the situation without resistance. She supposedly thought they would submit completely to her authority, but, according to this story, she was about to discover just how wrong she was.
We cut the lead to 2 again. Just like that. Just like that. And then it's like, you bring back in Aaliyah, you bring back Kelsey, and we go back to the same old thing. It's just like, bro, I'm just sick of this coach, man. I wouldn't be surprised if Chicago Sky beat this team tomorrow. Sydney Taylor's going to be back. She's going to go for 30 on them tomorrow. I mean, this team is garbage, man. We had the 3rd seed in the palm of our hand. By the time the playoffs come, we might be sitting in like 7th place. We might be stuck going to Golden State in round 1. And that means you're going to get bumped and lose in round 1. How embarrassing is that? If you're going to be playing this style, you'll probably lose to the Atlanta.
She was completely wrong. Caitlin and Sophie were reportedly furious. They were not simply upset, but deeply disgusted by what they viewed as blatant disrespect. As elite competitors, winning championships means everything to them, and they allegedly believe they understood exactly what Stephanie White was doing. According to this dramatic narrative, they saw the situation as a deliberate attempt to damage their careers, statistics, and playoff hopes. After the team's back-to-back disappointing losses, the two stars reportedly drew a firm and unbreakable line in the sand. According to multiple alleged locker room insiders, the tension behind closed doors had reached an explosive level, with heated arguments in the film room reportedly becoming impossible to ignore. Caitlin Clark and Sophie Cunningham were also said to have approached front office executives directly and made their feelings crystal clear. According to the unverified claims, they were completely done. The narrative alleges that they no longer wanted to play under a head coach they believed was jealous, insecure, and willing to hurt the team's chances of winning simply to prove a petty point.
First option. This game, she went from second option to third option. Third option. They are running the ball through Kelsey. Sophie got sick of it in the fourth. Kelsey jumping at Sophie, one coming down the court on a fast break. Sophie said, screw you, here, Caitlin. Now, granted, Caitlin didn't make the shot, and I know what y'all finna say, you Caitlin Clark haters. Well, John, Caitlin Clark missed 2 critical free throws. Maybe she missing them on purpose. Damn me. Y'all don't want to give me the ball. I'm going to miss all the damn free throws. That's what I'm going to do. No, I don't know about y'all. I'm mad. I'm good regardless. Caitlin is good with or without the Indiana Fever. So I don't want to give a damn. I don't want to hear nothing about her missing them 2 damn free throws. Let's finish reading the tweets. Sick of this, man. Sick of this. Time and time again, we got to go through this. Ryan Love's Ball stated, Stephanie White is just anxious. Is just an atrocious coach. She has the best show on the planet, starting at point guard. And yet, we have to watch this boring motion offense trip. Caitlin basically has to force her looks since the set offense is to take the ball out of her hands. I didn't even want to speak about forcing shots. She forced shots against Dallas. She forced them again tonight. Caitlin Clark is a rhythmic player. She has to get in rhythm to play, to shoot well. And we ain't going to go over Caitlin points yet.
Sources allegedly indicate that both superstars are now quietly but aggressively preparing to demand major trades. According to the narrative, they are ready to pack their bags, walk away, and leave the Indiana Fever organization behind entirely. The claims suggest they want to take their historic talent, powerful chemistry, and enormous global star appeal to another WNBA team, one that would respect them, put the ball in Caitlin's hands, and allow them to compete for multiple championships. The Indiana Fever franchise is now being portrayed as facing an unprecedented and potentially catastrophic crisis. The scale of this alleged situation is enormous. If Caitlin Clark and Sophie Cunningham were to leave Indiana, it would not simply mean losing 2 basketball players. According to this dramatic narrative, it could become a massive financial blow to the franchise and surrounding market. Millions of loyal fans who fill arenas, purchase jerseys, and drive television ratings could follow the stars wherever they go. Social media reactions have fueled the claim that many fans are loyal primarily to the players rather than the Indiana Fever logo itself. The message being repeated is simple. Wherever Caitlin and Sophie go, many fans may go too. If both stars were to leave, the narrative claims the Fever could face declining attendance, reduced national television exposure, and serious challenges in maintaining sponsorship interest. Major brands such as Nike and Gatorade are often cited in these discussions, although any claim that sponsors would immediately withdraw funding remains speculative unless officially confirmed. The central argument is that losing 2 major stars could have enormous consequences for the franchise, its audience, and its commercial future.
Timpson gives us far much more, because Aaliyah Boss is hanging out the 3-point line, so her height is fairly useless if we're not going to have her around the rim. That's offensively and defensively. And Jonquel Jones on offense takes Aaliyah Boston out to the 3-point line. Now, I know she doesn't weigh as much as Aaliyah Boston, but Michaela Timpson's got some strong-ass legs. But anyways, we would switch and have Maisha Hines-Allen guard Jonquel Jones out there at the 3-point line because Jonquel Jones is big, strong, thick, and fast enough to guard Jonquel Jones out there if she decides to put off the dribble. And I like my chances with Michaela Timpson going up against Breanna Stewart in the post. I'll take my chances all day, every day. Lexi Hull, 0 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist. What did we expect? She was coming off of a career game the other night. What did we expect? Aaliyah Boston, 22 points, 6 assists.
Stephanie White's alleged petty jealousy could, according to this dramatic narrative, leave the Indiana Fever completely isolated, financially devastated, and irrelevant in the world of professional sports. Reports claim that WNBA executives and the Fever's billionaire ownership group are now in a state of absolute panic. They are allegedly facing an enormous crisis and feeling intense pressure to make a decision immediately. The question is simple but potentially franchise-changing. Do they fire Stephanie White, terminate her contract, and desperately attempt to repair the relationship with the team's two biggest stars? Or do they allow the situation to continue and risk seeing internal conflict cause severe damage to a franchise worth millions of dollars? According to the narrative, the organization now faces a critical choice: act quickly to restore stability or risk losing some of its biggest stars and facing potentially devastating consequences.
$100,000. I don't know what the hell y'all paid her for. Monique Billings is garbage. It is what it is, man. Ty Harris stinks. Shout out to Maisha Hines-Allen. She came off the bench and played good. Michaela Timpson played good, 10.6 rebounds. Aaliyah Boston had 22 points, 6 assists, 3 rebounds. You getting $6 million. You get $6 million. $6 million, and you getting 3 rebounds in 30 minutes. In 30 minutes, you got 3 rebounds. That's 1 rebound every 10 minutes. Aaliyah Boston, are you serious? How does Caitlin Clark have more rebounds than you? How does Caitlin Clark have more rebounds than you? You getting 1 rebound every 10 minutes. It's ridiculous, man. It's just ridiculous, man. The Indiana Fever, just Leonie Feebage being back was big for the New York Liberty. Leonie Feebage had 20 points, 5 assists, 5 rebounds at her return. She had a hell of a second half. She started shooting the cover off the ball from the 3-point line. Sabrina Ionescu had 12 points, 4 assists. She wasn't very impactful. 1 of 5 from 3. Jonquel Jones, 19 and 10. Brianna Stewart, 22, 8 and 7. She balled. But I thought Michaela Timpson battled with Brianna Stewart. I thought Maisha Hines-Allen and Brianna and Michaela Timpson battled their ass off down there. Aaliyah Boston missed the key layup, man. We could have went up 1. She missed the key layup. But at the end of the day, this falls on coaching, man. The head coach made the decision to play the center at point guard for the first 3 quarters of this game, pretty much. She decided to have Aaliyah Boston play point guard. Aaliyah Boston brought the ball up the floor more than anybody else in this game. More than Kelsey Mitchell, more than Caitlin Clark, more than Sophie. Shout out to Sophie, man. Sophie, you passed the ball to Caitlin and you knocked down a couple threes. Sophie had 10 off the bench. Sophie and Maisha Hines-Allen look like our only playable players off the bench. It just is what it is. This Indiana Fever team's not good, but Stephanie White made the decision to play Aaliyah Boston at point guard and play Caitlin Clark at small forward. This is a joke, man. This is a joke. Caitlin Clark is rushing.
Stephanie White's alleged petty jealousy could, according to this dramatic narrative, leave the Indiana Fever completely isolated, financially devastated, and irrelevant in the world of professional sports. Reports claim that WNBA executives and the Fever's billionaire ownership group are now in a state of absolute panic. They are allegedly facing an enormous crisis and feeling intense pressure to make a decision immediately. The question is simple but potentially franchise-changing. Do they fire Stephanie White, terminate her contract, and desperately attempt to repair the relationship with the team's two biggest stars? Or do they allow the situation to continue and risk seeing internal conflict cause severe damage to a franchise worth millions of dollars? According to the narrative, the organization now faces a critical choice: act quickly to restore stability or risk losing some of its biggest stars and facing potentially devastating consequences.